Hi, I'm Ed Highland, and welcome to the News Desk. I'm joined now by Christian Johnson and Jennifer McKinney, who are with UCLA Biodesign, a part of the innovation arm at UCLA Health. Welcome to both of you.
Thank
Let
you.
me start the question, if I could, with Jennifer. You joining us today as co-founder, executive director of UCLA Biodesign, part of the innovation engine at UCLA Health, the #1 hospital in California, tallying nearly 3 million, this is impressive, nearly 3 million impressions and 3 million patient visits across one of the largest and most diverse counties in the US. Tell us, if you would, after that, about UCLA Health.
Thank you, Ed, and thanks to Christian for joining me today. Really excited to be here on behalf of UCLA Health. We recently broke into the top 3 slot in the nation, ranked by US News and World Report, so we're the #3 hospital in the US. Really excited about our role as a leading academic medical center to bring innovation to the forefront of patient care. That's across over 500,000 unique patient visits every year. We have 4 hospitals, over 200 clinics in the Southern California area, and we feel it's our responsibility to innovate at the forefront of patient care.
And tell us why you're here at MD&M West.
Yeah, as I said, Ed, innovation is central to what we do, whether it's patient care or the development of new medical technology. And many of the companies around us here today in the exhibit hall at MD&M West are doing just that. They're developing the new technology that's going to help advance patient care. UCLA Health has a long history in innovation in medical technology, from the basic technology developing the PET and CT scans to leading tissue matching transplant technology, and now we're one of the leading transplantation centers in the US. And that's really based on our history of innovation in science and technology, and that's fundamentally what UCLA Biodesign is about. It's a cross-disciplinary program utilizing the strengths of UCLA Health and the resources at UCLA.
Well, let's talk a little bit more and get Christian into the conversation here. We'd like to learn more about the program, what you're doing. So start off by telling us about UCLA Biodesign, what the program is doing, and what you aspire for the program to achieve.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ed. So I come from industry. I come from a leading manufacturer here in the region, Edwards Life Sciences. And so for me, patient-centered innovation has always been a top focus of mine. And when I saw UCLA Health and what it was doing with the Biodesign Hub for MedTech and Digital Health here, which essentially includes a 1-year fellowship as one of its core cornerstones, where we bring together multidisciplinary teams, engineers, business professionals, clinical staff, to really focus on addressing what are the most unmet needs in patient care today. And coming from industry, I'm very well familiar with how MD&M West is very much a leading platform for bringing together people across all those disciplines together. So it makes sense we're here. With the program itself, what we want to do is cultivate and bring together more talent like that, train the next generation of leaders in innovation, and then also develop the next generation of diagnostics, therapeutics, treatments through our innovative fellowship program in partnership with the ecosystem. And so, I'm really pleased to be here and in partnership with Jennifer to share that. Tell you a little bit more about the program itself and what we're doing.
Tell me a little bit more. I want to see what you're offering here.
Well, no, pass the torch, Jennifer, please, by all means.
Yeah, thank you, Christian. And one of the things that we're fundamentally here is because we need engineers. Engineers are at the forefront. I myself am a mechanical engineer, but being in situ at a health system, it's a bit like being a wolf in sheep's clothing. Because when I go into an OR or a clinical visit, I'm thinking, how can we make this better? How can we adjust this technology to advance our patient care? And so what we're really hoping to do is bring engineers into our health system, whether they're in clinical strategy, manufacturing, product development, or even on the downstream end of the process, much like we found Christian from Edwards Life Sciences, looking at global access and market strategies, because those all come together to bring technologies back into the health system. And so we're here today. It's just really a call to the community, a call to the medtech industry. We're seeking engineers, product development professionals, software developers to join us at UCLA Health to be part of UCLA Biodesign and come help us in innovation and entrepreneurship in our industry.
Well, what draws people into the program? What's the carrot for them as well? I mean, they could go to UCLA, they could go to other institutions, but what's the carrot that really brings them in?
Well, I'll start by just telling you my perspective, my story. I mean, I've once again been very focused on patient-centric innovation. Coming to UCLA Health, I see the world-leading clinical institution that Jennifer just shared all of the remarkable accolades about, is a privileged place to get to go and immerse yourself with leading faculty specialize in pulmonology, cardiology, endocrinology, a whole realm of specialties. And so to get to actually spend day to day in the hospital, in the clinical setting, working with leading clinicians as well as engineers and computer scientists to develop new technologies is quite an astounding opportunity. I think the second thing for me too is UCLA as a university and an institution is a leading center for innovation, but also for startup formation. It's recognized as the #1 environment to incubate new startups, and has spun out over 26 startups just in the most recent year alone. And so with all the support that comes from our ecosystem partnerships with manufacturers, funders in the angel and VC community, but also then too, like I said, science and research that's embedded at UCLA, you're really in the kind of the ultimate hub for being able to discover and create breakthrough transformational innovations. So I think that's one piece. Jennifer, I think maybe to talk a little bit about the resources too in the lab space we have.
Thanks, Christian. One of the things I think is so unique about UCLA, not just our location in Southern California, but fundamentally the expanse of the health system. We're ranked in the top 10 across 12 different clinical specialties, and we have more than 3,000 clinical faculty across a variety of disciplines. And that skill set really enables us to be at the forefront of innovation and patient care. And I think that, from my own perspective, looking back at my training as a mechanical engineer, you don't get that access to a health system. It's really like a closed door almost. And so this is an opportunity for those in the industry to be able to come in and find residents at a leading health center to understand how is technology used, what is the workflow. Many of the downstream activities we don't necessarily think about in product design and development will become even more important as we move towards a virtual first environment where technology, digital and mechanical are together. And we really want to bring those pieces to our health system.
Can you give us some ideas of how you're helping through the program to advance medical technology?
Yeah, certainly, Ed. I think one of the things that's so amazing about UCLA Health and what we're able to do as part of UCLA Health is look at the past year. We're in the midst of still recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic. Our clinicians are on the front lines of patient care. Los Angeles is one of the most diverse counties in the US. And so our focus last year, and still is, pulmonary and critical care medicine. So we deployed our fellows, our biodesign fellows went into interventional pulmonology. They went into the ICU. They really worked alongside frontline healthcare providers. And some of the innovations that have come out of our program just in the past year are related to critical care, mechanical ventilation, looking at how can we aid these patients who are in respiratory distress. And we have the facilities to be able to test those in our patient simulation center, as well as bring them into the clinical setting and get firsthand feedback.
Well, how can someone who is interested in UCLA Biodesign get in touch with you? Are there hurdles to leap across before you can actually get into the program and start being considered for some of these things?
Well, I think there's two fronts there. The first is if you're a candidate and you're interested as an engineer applying to be a part of the fellowship. One, you can go to the website, UCLA Biodesign, find us. We also have social media, Instagram and LinkedIn. Come find us at UCLA Biodesign as our hashtag there. But the other piece too is actually for industry as well, and for manufacturers and for funders. We offer opportunities for speaking engagement to help educate and train our fellows. We also offer programs. Either one, for example, we just launched the first annual Women's in Health Leadership Series and Symposium. We feature CEOs and founders of women-led companies to come in and speak. We do opportunities for fellows to come in and learn from VCs and angels on how to effectively pitch and fundraise. So we also invite a lot of the community to contact us, reach out, and explore how they can get involved and train the next gen of leaders too.
Well, speaking of next gen, Jennifer, Christian, we'd really like to know what is in the future for UCLA Biodesign. Where do you want to take the program? What's going to be happening in the very near future?
Yeah, thanks, Ed. I think one of the things that we fundamentally see as part of UCLA Biodesign and UCLA Health is being at the leading edge of innovation in the Southern California region, but also on a national level. We really want to be able to connect aspiring entrepreneurs, aspiring innovators to the patients that are in need of new innovation. And I think one of the things that's so unique is that we're here in Southern California, we're in Silicon Beach, right? And so there's something to be said for the evolving ecosystem that we have. And there's no, I say it sometimes, but there's no beach in Silicon Valley, right? And this is really, I think it's a unique place to be, to engage in medical innovation. We have many of the leading med tech manufacturers based here in Southern California. So when you look at follow-on job opportunities, being able to stay in Southern California and being able to be a place at UCLA, like UCLA Health, which was ranked one of the top 25 places to work for by Forbes for diversity. It's a really unique opportunity to advance patient care.
It's a win-win-win all across the board. Jennifer McKaney, Kristen Johnson, thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little more about UCLA Biodesign.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
And this is the News Desk. I'm Ed Hyman.